Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm doing another Chatty Get Ready with me, and I'm using all of those new BH Cosmetics, all those products that I showed you guys in my BH Cosmetics haul. So if you would like to see those products in action, and I was super excited to use this palette today. I love the eye look that I came up with this palette, and this is such a simple, easy eye look. Like this palette, oh, I'm so in love with it. But anyway, if you would like to get ready with me, just keep on watching, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into the video. I'm so excited to start using this BH Cosmetics stuff that I got yesterday in the mail. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess moisturize and maybe prime. So I'm gonna go in with my Ultra Repair Face Moisturizer, my First Day Beauty. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put this all over my face. I like burnt my head right there with my straightener the other day. Okay, and then for my primer, I'm just gonna go in with my Hard Candy Hydrating Primer. I have been loving this primer so much. So I'm just gonna put that all over as well. Or at least just like all over this area of my face and up here on my forehead. I'm not gonna put it on my eyes. Okay, and then with the BH Cosmetics foundation, I feel like I might need to send this back to them. I don't know if they take returns on anything. I'll have to look on their website. But the pump is definitely messed up on this. Like, whoops, just threw the lid. Like the pump, it doesn't want to pump. Maybe it does. Yesterday it was not pumping. Okay, maybe the foundation, like I said, the bottle felt really cold, so maybe it just needed to warm up. Okay, so it's a very thick foundation, and I felt like yesterday when I saw this like on the back of my hand, whenever I, was looking at it, it looks really light compared to some of my other foundations, so it may be a little too light. Like this shade might not be the right shade for me, so I might have to end up ordering a different foundation. But I feel like I had to order this one because a lot of the shades that they had were sold out. Like I think the shade up from this I was gonna get, but they were sold out of that one. So we'll just see how this goes. If it's too light, I guess I'll just have to use bronzers or something to bronze it up. But yeah, it's very thick. And it seemed super full coverage whenever I was swatching it yesterday. So I'm just gonna use my dampened beauty sponge. This is my Peak Cosmetic sponge. And maybe this will oxidize a little bit, so maybe it'll end up kind of matching. I mean, putting it on my face, like it looks light, but it doesn't look that much lighter than my neck. So I feel like I could probably make this work. It looks like it's blending out pretty good. I don't feel like, it's kind of weird. It's almost like putting it on with the sponge. I mean, it's full coverage, but it's not as full coverage as it was when I was trying to blend it out on the back of my hand, but I don't know. I feel like the consistency of this reminds me of the Revlon Color Stay. And so does the coverage. And actually, like I said, once I've gotten this kind of blended out on my face, it doesn't seem too light. Seems like it builds good. I mean, like so far, I'm impressed by that. And I'm glad that the pump is working today because I really didn't want to have to send that back. I hate returning makeup. Not because I feel bad to return it, but just because I don't like to return things. It's just a hassle. And I don't know. It's just work and I don't want to have to do it. So I did do 2 pumps of that and I feel like I need more. I don't know if my sponge just really soaked it up or what, but yeah, I mean, I feel like the finish of it looks really nice. Like it doesn't look like super matte, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like it actually looks fairly dewy, but probably most people would consider this like a semi-matte finished foundation. But yeah, I'm really impressed by this foundation so far. I'll have to let you know in the video how it wears today. So the next thing that I got from BH Cosmetics is their Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer. And the shade that I picked up was number 100. I don't know if it has a color name or not. Doesn't say. But the applicator on this is pretty unique. And this stuff is super full coverage. So, whoa, that was probably way too much. So I'll just try to dab some of this over here because this stuff was so full coverage yesterday whenever I swatched it on the back of my hand. Yeah, that is definitely full coverage. Wow. That is a really good concealer. I mean, the real test with it will be if it, you know, gets into creases and stuff, but it looks like it may kind of accentuate like dry areas. So if you had super dry under eyes, that might not work, but it does have really awesome coverage. Yeah, that's really good. I'm gonna put just a little bit of it, just kind of dab it right here and blend that out. I'm gonna actually set this today with my new setting powder that I picked up. I'm still testing this out. This is the Milani Prep Set and Glow Illuminating Transparent Powder. The next thing that I picked up is their Studio Pro Waterproof Brow Pomade. And I picked up blonde and brunette because I like to use two different shades of brow products on my brow. And I bought these because you guys know I've been using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomades. And I want to get something else that is more affordable. So first I'm just going to brush through my brows. I'm going to go in with the blonde shade first, and I'm using my Anastasia brow brush in number 12. I mean, honestly, that going on went on so much smoother than the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. Yesterday, whenever I swatched this next to the shades that I use in the Anastasia Brow Pomade, the blonde looked pretty close to their blonde. The brunette, however, is more of an ashy tone than the chocolate, which honestly, I feel like would work better for my brows anyway, because sometimes that chocolate is just a little too warm. And then I'm going to go in and fill in the gaps and everything and kind of darken up the tail with the brunette shade. But yeah, it glides on so smooth. I mean, I don't know how long, you know, if it'll get dried out over time, which, I mean, the Anastasia brow pomades definitely do. Maybe these will last better. You guys will have to let me know down in the comments if you use brow pomades and like which ones are your favorites to use. Because I do really like brow pomades. Like I've definitely kind of converted over, at least for now. I usually go in my phases with brow stuff. Like sometimes I'll use pencils and then other times I use brow powders, and then right now I'm into pomades, so. Okay, now let's go in with the brunette shade. The only thing is I don't know if this brunette shade is gonna seem darker than the chocolate shade since it has more of that ashy tone to it. I mean, it definitely goes on really smooth for sure. I like both of those shades. I feel like both those shades work really well for me. So yeah, really impressed by those, really like those. So far, I've liked everything. Okay, now I'm just gonna use my Benefit GimMe Brow to set my brows in place. So now I'm going in with the BH Studio Pro Shade and Define 10 Color Contour Palette. So that's what it looks like there. And I'm going to bronze first, I think, with the shade in the middle. And I do like this shade, but it is kind of warm. I feel like a lot of the shades in this, see, like that is super warm for me. I can't really use that. That was the second shade. This one here. I mean, in some ways, I kind of need a palette that's a little more cool toned than this palette. And I was actually reading, I think, on the reviews of the different palettes, and a lot of people said that they felt like this one was too cool toned, if I was reading that right. And if that's the case, I can't imagine how warm toned their other palette is like this, because I think they have two different ones. Unless I thought I ordered the cool tone one and I ended up ordering the warm toned one. So, but I don't think that looks bad. I do like that shade for a bronzer, the middle one. It's definitely a really pretty bronze shade, that third shade over. Though you guys know I'm not really into matte bronzers a whole lot. It's not a bad matte bronzer. Like, it doesn't make me look dirty or anything. I think sometimes that's why you have to be careful with the more cool toned bronzers that are matte, because sometimes they can make you look talking while I'm trying to bronze up my neck. They can make you look, you know, dirty. So I might try to use a little bit of that, even though I did kind of already set things, just to, you know, just for the sake of the video. I think this one here was really, yeah, that one's really highlighting the second one over on me. Like I told you guys yesterday, I feel like this palette is definitely better for people with fair skin. If you're really dark skin tone, I don't think this palette is gonna be dark enough for you, the shades in here. And then I'm gonna try to contour a little bit with that second to last shade. And I'm just gonna use my Morphe E18. Dab some of that extra. I don't know. I don't think, I mean, it's not a horrible contour shade, but it's a little too warm. But I guess it doesn't look horrible. I'm gonna look at it from the side. Okay, yeah, I mean, that doesn't look bad as a contour shade on me. Yeah, I think that looks fine. All right, and then, well, I should probably use the blushes before I use that highlighting palette. Okay, so I picked up their classic blush, 10 color blush palette. This is the classic blushes, which looks like this. And these are definitely the blushes that I gravitate towards. Let's see. I think I'm gonna try this shade right here. This reminds me a lot of the Tarte. This reminds me a lot of Tarte Exposed. But then again, this one is really pretty too. I really like both of those. But I think I'm gonna go in with this top kind of pinky natural shade. And these blushes are actually pretty pigmented, so I definitely recommend kind of dabbing your brush off before you go in to apply them, just because of that. So it's kind of strange, because I feel like when I swatch them, they don't seem like too overly pigmented, but once you get them on your face, like, they definitely do have really great pigmentation. I'm just gonna blend that a little bit. So, I mean, I do like that blush color. Next, we're gonna move on to this palette. And this is the Backlight Highlight 6 color palette. And this has a lot of those pretty, like, colored highlighters. I don't really know. I think I'm gonna go in with this bottom one just because it's like the safest one, which is Strobe. Yeah, I'm not for sure how I feel about this palette. That looks like it has a lot of chunky shimmers in it. So Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it shows a lot of texture, so I don't know if this is gonna be like my palette. Maybe I'll try to use laser, possibly. It's kind of greenish, and I don't know if I'm gonna do green. Okay, let's just go for it. I'm doing this for y'all. Actually, let me wipe this brush off real good. Make sure I get all of strobe off of there. Okay, so I just got some laser on my brush. I mean, laser might be a little better and not quite as like chunky shimmer, but I don't know how I feel about this. I'm on the fence about this thing. You guys know how I kind of feel about these colored highlights anyway. I thought that these were going to be a little more subtle than how bright some of these colors are. But if nothing else, if I don't like these as highlights, I think they would be beautiful eyeshadows. So maybe I'll have to do a tutorial, like an eyeshadow tutorial with these. I think this would be like a really pretty spring eyeshadow look with these because they're pastel and, you know, kind of duochrome. I don't want to put any highlight on this cheek because I want to try out my Zodiac Palette highlight. So I'm going to use this highlight in the middle here on this side to see how that works, because I'm curious about this highlight too. This highlight on my brush. Tap off the excess. Okay, I do feel like this highlight is better. I don't know if you all can tell on camera or not, but I don't feel like it looks as chunky as those other ones were. I feel like it looks more natural too. And on camera, I feel like it doesn't do it justice at all, because whenever I looked at my swatches yesterday of it, it just didn't really see, and I feel like that over top of those, definitely, it does not work. It's too, really brings out the chunkiness, but this side is really pretty. We're gonna move on to the star of the show, the thing that I'm most excited to try, and was the reason why I made this BH Cosmetics like order. Okay, totally interrupted me. Order in the first place was the Zodiac palette. I think first I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, this khaki color, which is, I guess, Capricorn Matte. It's the matte shade with the Capricorn sign. So let me get a blending brush, which all of my blending brushes are dirty just about. So I'm just gonna blend that shade here in the crease. Blends really nice. And I think I forgot to tell you what brush I'm using, but I'm using my Morphe M433 brush. But yeah, I do like that color as a crease color. I was a little concerned that it might be too, you know, maybe cool toned, which it is a cool tone crease color, but it's not, like, it still looks wearable. It doesn't look bad. And it's kind of weird once you get it on, it almost looks like a grayish brown to me. It doesn't look too greenish, like, because it's like a khaki kind of green. I'm just going in with my Morphe M213 with some more of that color, and I'm just going to put it here on the lower lash line, which I did kind of concentrate the color a little more there, and you can see that it looks a little more khaki. At the top of the crease, I'm going to go in with Matte Aquarius, and I'm just going to kind of warm that up a little bit right there so it doesn't look too cool toned. I always find that if I'm doing a kind of a cooler tone in the crease, that at the very top of the crease, it always looks good to put just a slightly kind of warm tone there. I'm getting some of Matte Capricorn, and I'm going to put it, just pat it here on the last part of the lid, just because I want it to be a little darker right here than the lid color. And then I'm going in with some more of that matte Capricorn shade, and I'm just blending it more in the outer V. And I do really like the shade because as you can see, I use that color in the crease and in the outer V. And it looks like I used two different colors. I mean, granted, I know I used that warm color at the top of the crease, but like if you apply it lightly, it looks like a lighter shade. And then you can apply it a little bit more heavy and get it, you know, more intense and dark. So that's cool. I'm gonna get some of Aquarius on here. I don't know, these probably would be a little better to apply with a makeup setting spray, but I'm just gonna see how they apply without that at first. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of fallout just using it by itself. So I'm gonna try it with a makeup setting spray now. And I'm just gonna mist it with my MAC Fix Plus. And then I'm just gonna go back and just pat on top of that. Such a gorgeous, unique color. Just gonna do that same thing on the other side. Got some more of that color on this brush. Mist it with my MAC Fix Plus. Yeah, definitely recommend using those bake shadows wet. I mean, they probably apply really nice with your finger as well. Just getting some of it on that brush. And then I'm just gonna mist that. Then I'm just gonna press it in right here. I'm just going in with my Physicians Formula Deep Brown. And I'm just gonna lightly line this. Which I feel like over top of that color, it almost looks green. And then I'm gonna do a wing out here. For the waterline, I'm going in with this NYX Glide On pencil in Golden Olive. I'm just gonna go in with the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I'm just lining my lips today with this L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Lip Liner in Matting Call. Yeah, Matting Call. And then I stumbled across this lip color in my lipstick collection yesterday, and this is one of the Hard Candy Velvet Mousse matte lip colors, and I forgot about this. I bought this a long time ago and I was kind of unsure about the color, and I know I was telling you guys the other day that I'm not really into these type of colors, these tawny colors, but I don't know if it's my blonde hair or what, but I used this yesterday and I actually really liked it. So never say never. I don't know if my lights are too dark or not. It's like borderline, maybe a little too orange. I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to decide if I like that nude lip color on me or not. But I mixed this color yesterday with this Milani Amore Shine liquid lip color in 01 Delight. And I really liked these two mixed. So I'm gonna put this on top, because it kind of gave it a little bit of a shine. So yeah, I feel like I like this lip color a little better with this other color on top. If you enjoy my Get Ready With Me videos, give this video a thumbs up. I will see you all in my next one, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.